The fans of Caitlin Clark just viciously humiliated the WNBA, and to be honest, they deserve much more. This is what kind of pitiful excuse for a league. Their so-called leaders continue to preach equality and unity while having hardly two brain cells to rub together. But tell me, while Clark was getting jabbed in the eye, where was all that harmony? We think that games shouldn't be able to use these lengthy, potentially harmful false nails. Why should games be able to use them? They pose a threat. The irony is astounding. To top it all off, the player with the nails like a knife was not even given a foul call. Are you telling the truth? The media and fans are clamoring for answers, yet all we hear is quiet. Are you simply waiting for Clark to give up so you can have empty seats? We've stopped watching now that Caitlin has been removed. Funny as hell. See you in the upcoming season. We have stopped watching, since that is quite evident. Not you, Clark, not a penny. Someone needs to give those empty skulls of yours some reason. Start guarding your star now or bid your league farewell. Before it's too late, protect the golden goose. WNBA should be ashamed, end of story. This league is essentially being carried by Caitlin Clark. Nevertheless, they've chosen to treat her like a bother rather than recognizing her genius. Kunta Clark is Caitlin Clark. She is the real slave, the object of everyone else's exploitation. Angel Reese was listed first on the list. Alyssa Thomas now interrupts to add, let me get my piece, how pitiful. The WNBA's answer, while she's breaking records and doing tricks that have fans glued to their screens, oh, just some cheap jabs and shoulder bumps like they're trying to make her feel bad about being their sole relevant source. Watching the league's supposed leaders talk about supporting when their brightest player is treated like an inconvenience irritates me. Sincerely, where is the safeguard for the player who is drawing in more viewers than any of the other players in the league combined? And all she receives is the cold shoulder from other players as well as the league. Why? Therefore, she poses a risk. The WNBA is becoming a total farce. The best thing this league has ever seen is Caitlin Clark. But nevertheless, they handle her like trash. It is pitiful. The level of hypocrisy is astounding. They're too preoccupied with acting like nothing is wrong and allowing their one true gift to be ruined. Nothing wrong. I would really like this to be my final WNBA basketball quarter till the following season. I'm at my breaking point. Not to worry, the year is over. You know what's worse, though? The league appears to be concerned. In actuality, though, they're only drawing attention with Clark's name. They want her to continue scoring big and garnering attention. However, they leave her hanging as soon as she sets foot on the court. They let players who lacked her skill to bully her around take cheap shots and get away with it. You can see that the players for the Connecticut Sun harbor a deep-seated hatred towards Caitlin Clark. What about the referees? They ignore it as if it were all just a part of the game. They seem to be on a mission to demolish her. The WNBA is merely observing, praying that no one takes note. What a joker group. Not to mention the repulsive double standards. Cry and foul whenever it fits is the WNBA's motto. But when Clark is the victim of bullying, where is the outrage? Not at all. If someone makes the wrong sneeze, they will cry racism. But they remain mute as Clark is being humiliated on the court. This morning, they are making a very strong and loud statement to the WNBA. Furthermore, the WNBA will not approve of it at all. However, the supporters are wise to this foolishness. They are not illiterate. Furthermore, they don't believe the WNBA's preposterous worries. Pretending to be inclusive and allowing their best player to be beaten up for a quick thrill is all that matters to them. WNBA, clean it up. And many fans have responded in that way. We're not stupid. We realized what the WNBA was trying to do here. We are not ignorant. This season, Caitlin Clark has been the target of hatred and retaliation. Finally, there are the participants. Well, they really do have guts to team up against Clark. We are discussing actions that you wouldn't even witness in a street brawl, such shoves, elbows, and eye pokes. It seems as though they are aware of their inability to match her skill and have made it their mission to crush her spirit. The envy is irrational. Here's Alyssa Thomas blathering about how racist Clark's supporters are while acting as though Clark hasn't been the greatest player on the court each and every night. Perhaps Thomas wouldn't be eclipsed by a player with twice her talent if she spent less time complaining and more time on the field. The WNBA will be hurting more than ever if Caitlin Clark decides she has had enough of this dumpster fire. We're not simply talking about any old player here. It's her who is preventing the league from stagnating. Every game, Clark draws in more than 1 million viewers by himself. That is, in fact, 1 million with an N. If she is removed from the picture, those figures will decline more quickly than the league's reputation. It's not just a guess either. We saw it occur. Ratings suffered a horrifying 30% decline when Clark missed a few games earlier in the season. Just because your star player got benched doesn't mean that 30% of your team is gone. Let that sink in. What would happen if she made the decision to piece it out permanently? Total meltdown. Following number one, Caitlin Clark's fan base walked out the door. What was once again a terrible showing by WNBA refs, stealing a game from Caitlin Clark in the Indiana Fever again and again. Let's also not discount the attendance statistics. Live attendance at Clark games increased by 15%. Yes, it was mostly down to her that people turned up, but extract her. Get ready for rolling tumbleweeds down the court and reverberating stadia. In Clark's absence, the WNBA will become a vast abandoned community. To what will they be offering tickets? Observing third-string players stutter? The reality is that one player truly determines the importance of the league, and they are treating her like a disposable rookie. What about the reaction from the WNBA? Whoa, they don't actually have one. They allow the circus to continue as they profit from the mayhem by sitting back. Seemingly, they would prefer to watch Clark get trampled than intervene and put an end to the harm. In reality, they are merely looking for drama to keep the cameras going. Despite the fact that they are pushing this false story of equality, they realize they're out of luck without Clark, so they're too afraid to intervene. So they treat her like a punching bag out here, despite the fact that she is the only reason anyone even cares about this league. It's the most ridiculous business plan I've ever seen. You can see that right there. For 80% of their admirers, things are about to get ugly. It has spent the last 7 hours trending the end of the WNBA season. For most fans, they just turn off their televisions. The supporters have had enough. They're sick of the baseless accusations, the cheesy remarks, and the outright mistreatment. The league will watch as Clark and every supporter who believes in her walk away if it doesn't wake up and start guarding its one and only star. After that, they can ponder what went wrong while staring at their empty venues. This league really is a failure. Whatever that cringeworthy statement was, I retweeted it. I won't even begin to discuss the WNBA's leadership's hypocrisy. They make these drawn-out declarations about unity, but they remain silent on radio when it comes to defending Clark. They'll make a lot of noise about how the league is for all players, but when their golden goose is being pushed around and tripped on live television, for some reason that doesn't seem to apply. Rather, they merely remain seated, acting as though everything is merely a part of the game. Their lack of awareness of the abuse she is receiving is almost comical, but they will not hesitate to accuse her of racism anytime it fits their story. Fans are criticizing them for their absurd double standard on a regular basis. The referees are essentially ignoring everything. I'm not sure what else could be a setup if this one. A player of her caliber shouldn't have to put up with this nonsense every game. It appears as though their sole objective is to demoralize Clark. But hey, what do you know? It's not her who is giving in. It's the WNBA. Yes, last night was an unpleasant awakening for the WNBA. They would sooner pretend everything is okay than acknowledge they are unable to control their own players, which is why they are allowing her to be pounded. It's actually just a joke. Caitlin Clark deserves to be honored like the superstar that she is in this league, because they wouldn't matter without her. Let's be honest, the only reason the WNBA is even being discussed these days is because of her. The unfortunate thing is that they would prefer to watch her fail than to help her succeed. They seem scared of her, as if she represents a fresh wave of talent that surpasses all the other things they've been attempting to promote. Instead of supporting the one player that is truly drawing crowds to the stadium, they would rather to hold on to their antiquated favorites. I've never seen such self-destructive, counterproductive foolishness. What's even worse, not only are they endangering Clark, they are taking all the risks. Fans will leave if they continue on this path. The WNBA is already precariously positioned. And that's it if they lose Clark. The game is over. The maltreatment, hypocrisy, and double standards are getting to the fans. I'm over it all. We're going Clark out. We only watched one WNBA game this season. We're through. It's no longer simply about Clark. It concerns the future of the entire league. They will lose more than just Caitlin Clark if they don't wake up and begin to value their stars as the priceless assets that they are. The fans have had enough, and once they depart, it's impossible to get them back. Here's your wake-up call. WNBA, respect the name Clark, or prepare to watch your one and only star walk out the door.